That seemed like a lot of work. It really wasn't. I'm kind of a perfectionist, I guess.
I've received, on the first video, I've received more comments than I have on any other video that I have. I haven't had the most views yet, but it's brand new. But the comments are just
enormous, and I really appreciate that. So I want to thank you for that. In today's video, it's going to be the second video of a two-part series. In the first video, if you watched that, we did a muffler delete. I showed you how to cut it out. We took it completely out of the car. We did some sound checks and drove it around for a little while. So I needed a few days to drive around to see how I felt about that with no muffler whatsoever. Keep in mind, we still have the resonator. Now I've selected a muffler. We're going to get this put on. We're going to go over the muffler, why I chose that. We're going to do some sound checks, some samples, and go from there and decide if we want to take it one step further or not. I don't know, guys. I'm pretty pleased, but there's always room to improve. I made some last minute changes to the installation process. We're going to cover everything in this video. So one more thing, don't forget to subscribe for the old man, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up. It does the channel great. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's get to it. What's up? I'm headed to the muffler shop. I went in there the other day and yesterday. See if I could get some pipe bent, and just couldn't get the right angle and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to have him weld on a pipe to go down perfectly to where the muffler's going to lie, to where it will line up right. Also be nice and square inside of there, inside of that cavity, to put a tailpipe extension on that. Hopefully will look really nice. But yep, I'm going to try to get it to where I can just use lap joint clamps just for demonstration purposes. I just want him to weld the one pipe that I cut. I just want him to weld a longer piece onto that's curved down to where the muffler goes. So we'll see how that goes. This is the muffler that I selected. This is the Flowmaster Super 44. It's the deepest sounding muffler of the Flowmasters. It's not the loudest, but it's the deepest sounding. My goal is to eliminate some of that 4-cylinder high-pitched sound that I don't think anybody likes. Maybe some people do. I don't at all. Remember in the first video, the original muffler is like 15.5 by 15.5. This is like 9.75 by 13. So that gives us plenty of room to move things as we need to inside of that cavity where the factory muffler once was. I'm at the muffler shop. We already have it up on the lift. He's got the muffler on a stand just to position it so he can make the pipe to go down into the muffler, because you want to make sure that you line the exhaust up with the outside hole for the exhaust tip. You want to make sure it's straight. Okay, people, this is where everything changed. This is where my initial idea got kiboshed. So what we decided to do was go ahead and weld the muffler on to the pipe, because the bend in the pipe was not long enough or straight enough to put a lap joint connection. So you can't put a lap joint connection on a curved pipe. There's no other way around it. Even with utilizing the wiggle room that we have with a smaller muffler, just couldn't do it. So I said, just put it on, just weld the thing on. So this way, I'm going to pretty much ensure that I have no exhaust leaks. We're not going to have any rattling. The initial thought is over. In addition to installing the muffler, he's going to install a muffler hanger for me. So it's going to look like the factory setup. It's going to be really nice, really clean. We're not going to have any rattling whatsoever. You're going to be happy if you go this way. You can still do it like I initially intended. But again, you risk rattles, you risk exhaust leaks. This guy's doing a great job. You got the muffler lined up, everything's good, ready for the exhaust tip to go in. But because I'm doing a voiceover here, I wanted to explain everything that we're doing here and why we're doing it. We're gonna find something that's not so good because I don't have an exhaust tip on this right now. Eventually there will be one, but I'm gonna show you the difference in having one and not having one and what you experience. Has more sound than I thought it would. It really does. Okay, hear the turbo. That's nice and deep. Those reverse LEDs look really good. Check out that video. Yeah, I'm surprised it sounds as deep as it does. Super 44. All right, I'm leaving the shop. You obviously saw everything. Man, I'm surprised I'm getting this much sound. Actually, it's not that much off from as far as the noise level when I had no muffler. But what I said before in the last video, that now the noise is more controlled. It's more of a controlled sound. It's really deep. I mean, it's a deep sound.
And normally on these 4-cylinders, you have like a buzz. You know that, let me do it again. Sound. Yeah, that's just so silly.
But this sounds like kind of like a 6-cylinder now. It's pretty wild, actually. I'm gonna go around this corner and then we'll get on it a little bit, see if you can hear anything as I'm driving. But when we get to the house, then I'll do some samples more closely. All right, here we go. I got the window down. Here we go. Hear that turbo whoosh? I like it. That's a deep sound. I hope you guys got some of that. It's really, really deep sounding. Put it in sport mode here. Just drops it to gear. Yeah, that's kind of a trip. I don't know, it sounds good. It sounds really good. We're gonna have to sit on this one for a few days and decide if we want to delete the resonator or not. Right now, it's pretty decent, satisfying. It's more of a controlled sound. Yeah, that's good. All right, I put the windows up. I mean, you can hear the drone, you know, but when you're just cruising, it goes away. But when you get on it just a little bit, you can hear the deep sound. I want to hear it, and that's why I did it. So you can still talk on the phone. You can still listen to the radio. It's as loud as you want it to be, I guess, when you're inside the car with the windows closed. With the windows up, hopefully you can hear what I'm hearing. You do hear it. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, kind of what I expected. And this is without the resonator delete. So with the resonator delete, if we did that, it might be a little much for the old guy. I don't know. We're gonna drive on it for a few days and come back to you, and we might have a third segment here in this video series. That would be episode 3. We're in episode 2 right now. Keep in mind, we don't have an exhaust tip on this yet. The muffler's inside or underneath the car in about 3 or 4 inches. So it's still not sticking out of the back of the car yet. We still have to put the exhaust tip on. That may make some difference. It may change some of the drone. It may change some of the sound. So once we get that on, we're gonna know. I'll know, you'll know, we'll all know. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, here's what's going on. I'm waiting like any time now for my exhaust tip to show up in the mail. I got it from Amazon, pretty inexpensive. You know, I might get a better one later, but we're gonna throw this thing on. It's a 4-inch tip. It's a 9-inch length. It should be perfect. I can make about a 1/2 inch or an inch adjustment if I need to, which is good. I know what it sounds like now with the new muffler. Still have the resonator, but it sounds kind of funny, and I'm going to tell you why, and you're not going to believe it, but I figured it out. I figured it out, and I'm doing this for you guys, so you might not have this problem, but if you have this car or similar car, you'll get a better idea after I put the exhaust tip on. But because I don't have the exhaust tip on right now, I'm getting a lot of inside drone, and it's really bassy, and it's really, really deep. And here's what I figured out. I have 2 12-inch subwoofers in the trunk of the car, and right now the exhaust is about 5 inches under the car, under the trunk. So I think that exhaust coming up through there is vibrating the subwoofers, causing all this huge drone that I have. Once I get the exhaust tip on, I think that noise is gonna go straight out the back, and I'm not gonna have that problem. It took me a few to figure that out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What I did is I had a 2.5-inch pipe just laying around. I just kind of stuck it on there, and it totally changed it. I would have never figured that out. It was driving me crazy, and I figured it out. It's vibrating off the subwoofers in there, and the subwoofers are kind of going, you know, and it's going throughout the car. Thought it was the weirdest sound. It was kind of cool, but it did create a lot of drone because of that. Now, if you don't have subwoofers, you might not have that problem. We're gonna get this exhaust tip on as soon as it shows up. I'm waiting. It says it's out for delivery, and we're gonna put that on, take it for a spin. Then the ultimate thing is the conclusion of, do I need to delete the resonator? Am I getting the sound that I'm looking for out of this Flowmaster Super 44 muffler? which I think is amazing. I had one on my truck before and it was amazing. I know it's a different size motor, but it still has a controlled sound, a chambered sound. We're gonna go from there and make a decision. I have some other ideas as well. Hopefully you guys can decide from there which direction you wanna go. People, it's here. Literally, it's here. That is it. It's gonna clamp down on that exhaust, on that muffler. It looks pretty decent. It's pretty simple. I'll put a link for this down there in the description. You know, you can get exhaust tips from $10 all the way up to hundreds of dollars if you want to, but I'm not gonna do that for an exhaust tip. I think it looks perfect. Nobody knows if it's a $200 exhaust tip or not, unless you know. And if you know, then I guess you're probably not watching this channel. I have all the answers now. The exhaust tip changed the game. After I drove around on it for a day, that drone, it just got to be more and more heavier as I was aware of it. Really annoying. Too much for me inside the car. You don't want that. So when I put the exhaust tip on, it eliminated almost like 90% of that. It's incredible the difference that it made. All the sound is coming out of the back of the car now. So now I'm gonna try to put this on side of the road to get some drive-by views or some sounds from this muffler. But man, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not gonna piss off my neighbors. It seems to be good, really good. And again, when you get on it, do whatever you want, it's there. But you're not hearing it inside the car anymore, which is perfect, because if you like to play music, listen to stuff, talk to people, do whatever, it's not gonna be in the way, it's not gonna irritate things. And that's what I tried to achieve throughout this. By getting that exhaust tip on, changed it all. It moved all that sound outside of the car, you know, just completely out the back of the car. Let's take this thing for a spin, see what we can get out of it. This is what I've concluded. I'm extremely happy with it. It doesn't sound cheap. It sounds well put together, well thought out. It doesn't rattle. It sounds super, super good. It won't piss off your neighbors. It sounds good at any stoplight against anybody, but it is on the moderate side. So with that being said, I'm not sure yet if I want to delete the resonator. I'm going to listen to some of your comments and hopefully I'll get some good feedback on that. But the other thought that I have is doing possibly a electronic exhaust cutout before the resonator. That would give this car a split personality. But hey, I look forward to hearing your comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.